So in this video, we're going to have a look at object-oriented programming. And this is for people who perhaps are new to programming or perhaps have done some procedural programming in the past and want to change to doing some object-oriented programming. So how I like to introduce this is talk about blueprints to begin with. So blueprints, if you're a builder, it's the schematics of how to make something. So you could have a blueprint of a house, and it's going to tell you the measurements, the attributes of a house and how to build one. Of course, a blueprint isn't really a house, but what it is, it's the schematics in order to make a house. And in fact, actually, you could use a blueprint and make many houses from it. So that's the relationship between classes and objects, quite similar to blueprints. A class is a blueprint or it's a template for a set of objects. So if you think about it, a class defines what the objects are going to have inside them, what attributes they will have, and from it you can make many objects that are based on that class. So a couple of classic definitions you might want to learn. A class is a template for a set of objects that have state and behavior, and an object is an instance of a class. A real-world entity holds attributes and methods. These formal definitions, quite nice to have in the locker. It's good to write down and make yourself sound clever. So, an example. Let's think about humans. Imagine humans were a class. Humans have certain characteristics. We can call these properties. Sometimes you hear them called attributes. There's a slight difference between those two words, but for now, it's essentially the same thing. So every human has a height. We're all different heights, of course, but we all have a height. We all have a weight. We all have a name, DNA code, hair color, for instance. So every human's going to have those, even though for many of us they're going to be completely different values. We do have the actual the attributes. We can also do things. So humans can run, talk, sleep, eat, watch TV. And notice for the doing things, we've got these two brackets at the end. If we have a doing thing in a class, the correct word for that is method. Now, if you've done programming before, maybe you've heard of procedures and functions. It's exactly the same thing. So a method is a procedural function for a class for object-oriented code. So once we've got our class, what we would do is create objects from it. And when we do that, we create an instance of the class, and therefore it's called instantiation, creating an instance of it. So the language I'm going to use to model this is C#. So how I would do this in C# is I would say the name of the class, human, is the data type. Now, if you've done programming before and you've only done procedural programming, that's going to seem insane to you. But I promise you'll get used to it quite quickly. So human is the data type. I've given it an identifier. Now, for now, I've just called this X. And then it's equal to a new instance of the human class. From there, I can set the height and the weight, and I can make it run and walk. Okay, x.height equals whatever x.weight equals x.run, x.walk. Okay, so let's try an example. So I'm here in Visual Studio. I've opened up a blank console application. I'll just get rid of the hello world text because I don't need that. Now, best practice really is to make classes over here. So if I right click, go add class. And this is going to be a cat class. Because why not? I've got a cat, I like cats. So let's give it some properties. And for now, I'm going to say everything is public. Just take it on faith. And maybe in a future video, I'll explain what the public means. So public int, cats have a number of lives. And they have a name, which is a string. And just because, let's go for color of the cat as well. Okay, and we'll add a couple of doing things, some methods. So we'll go public void, furniture. And what else do cats do? Meow, I suppose. Void meow. There we go. So just for now, I'm going to get these methods just to put a line on the screen. So go console, spell things right, console dot write line, scratch the furniture, and here console dot write line, meow. Okay, so I've got attributes which I can set and change, and then a couple of methods that do things. That's my class defined. Now I've got to use it. So back in the main program, let's make a cat. So data type cat. I need to give it an identifier, a name. I'm going to call this one cat A. Why not? Equal to a new instance of the cat class. Now I can set the values. So cat A got lives 9. We all know cats have 9 lives. Cat A dot name equals Fluffy. Spelling's terrible. And cat A dot, what else is a color? This is going to be a black cat. Okay. Now, because I'm creating objects from a class, I can make as many of these as I want. And they're all going to have the same attributes. They're all going to have the same methods. Let's make another one. Cat B equals new cat. Cat B lives equals 9, set it to be 9 as well. Cat B dot name. This one can be called Gerald. And cat B dot color. Why not? This one can be grey. So setting these objects up, they've got values now. I can do something with those values. So for instance, I could say console.writeLine. I want to say cat b dot name. Why not? And I also want to use the method. So if I say cat b dot scratch furniture and cat a dot meow, what do you think is going to get displayed to the screen? Have a pause, have a think, and I'll press play and I'll see if you're right. So there's my displays. Console.writeLine cat b dot name. Well, we set cat b's name to be Gerald, so that's what gets displayed to the screen. I called cat b dot scratch furniture. So if we go to the cat class to remind you what happened there, scratch furniture, this was a method that just said scratch to the screen. And I then said cat a dot meow, which was this method here, which is displaying meow to the screen. So cat A and B both have these methods, both the same, but we did set these to be different values, hence why we could say cat B dot name, and that was equal to Gerald. So that's it. That's the basics, classes and objects. There's lots more to learn. See you in a future video.